Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Tracy Jackson-Davis, poised to provide unique threat for Warriors next season. Posting a double-double isn't overly notable in today's NBA, with no less than 2,247 double-doubles recorded in the league last season. That's an average of 75 per team, yet the Golden State Warriors accounted for just 46 of them. That doesn't appear like an outlier either. Statistics suggests the Warriors haven't had consistent double-doubles threats on their roster over recent history. Guards Tim Hardaway Jr., 187, and Stephen Curry, 158, lead the franchise in double-doubles over the past 35 years, per StatMuse, which acts as quite a surprise given the statistic is often dominated by big men. Golden State's 4 championships in the past 10 years shows that individual double-doubles are far from a necessity, but it might still be nice to have a player capable of posting big numbers in more than just one category. Over recent history, the Warriors have seldom had legitimate big men who can pose a threat on both ends of the floor and earn big minutes as a result. Their best lineups in the past decade have almost always included 6 feet 6 inches Draymond Green at center, hence the team's lack of double-doubles compared to the remainder of the league. Perhaps Tracy Jackson-Davis could be the one to change that. Last year's 57th overall pick posted 6 double-doubles in his rookie season, but it wasn't till late in the campaign where he started earning major minutes. Across the final 22 games of the season from March 6 onwards, Jackson-Davis averaged 11.0 points and 7.2 rebounds in 24.6 minutes per game. Basketball References per 36-minute projection for the 24-year-old next season is 17.5 points and 10.5 rebounds, suggesting that he could become a nightly double-double threat if his role expands to over 25 minutes per game. Jackson-Davis averaged 20.9 points and 10.9 rebounds in his final collegiate season at Indiana, while also posting 4.0 assists and 2.9 blocks in his 34.5 minutes per game. Having already shown a thrilling combination of shot blocking, rebounding and athletic finishing at the rim in his rookie year, the 6 feet 9 inches big man is expected to be Golden State's primary center option entering next season. While it won't necessarily be the difference on the Warriors' fortunes next season, Jackson-Davis does bring an element that's been rather unique over recent franchise history and could act as an exciting element for fans to follow. Tari's time. A healthy Tari Eason needs to step up for Rockets this season. Tari Eason is a young man. He is also a very talented basketball player. The only thing that outweighs his talent might be his heart and effort. That being said, young Tari Eason made one of the biggest mistakes of any Rockets player last season, and he wasn't even on the floor. He poked the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green notoriously stated in an interview with J.J. Redick, in regards to the 2018 Rockets publicly stating that they were built to beat the Warriors, that real G's move in silence. I'm guessing Tari Eason has never seen that interview, or maybe he has and simply begs to differ with Draymond. I'm an old head, and while I'm okay with talking trash, you better be able to back it up. Actually, let's start with, you better be on the court to even have a chance to back it up. Tari Eason played 22 more games than you and I played last season. In fact, in the last 2 seasons, he's played fewer games than Anthony Davis, who earned the name Street Clothes from Charles Barkley. Calling out the 4-time champions who have done nothing but wax the floor with your team in recent years isn't wise. Doing so while sitting on the sideline in jeans and a t-shirt that says Warriors come out to play, well, that's just plain dumb. That being said, Tari Eason is 23 years old. Who of us has not said or done things that were dumb when we were 23? Tari Eason's heart is in the right place. I truly believe that. I remember being a youngster and believing my game had gotten to the point where I was ready to beat my pop. Now I may not have talked trash to the level of Tari, but I was brash and confident. After all, I was faster, I could jump higher, and I'd watched enough and won mixtapes that my handle would make hot sauce do a double take. But time and time again, he beat me, or as he put it, took me to school. Frustrating as it was, not only did it humble me, but it made me work harder, and it made me better. Tari wants what the Golden State Warriors have, no doubt, and when he's healthy, he can be just the type of role player to help a franchise achieve the ultimate goal, a championship. A healthy Tari Eason that continues to develop is the obvious choice to replace the enforcer, Dillon Brooks, in the starting lineup. But this season he has got to stay on the floor, and if he can, then the Rockets can potentially keep a premier on-ball defender and someone with relentless hustle on the floor for all 48 minutes between Eason and Brooks. His ability to rebound offensively, his ability to disrupt passing lanes, the fact that all his points come from hustle and grit make him an invaluable piece to this team when he's playing. Which unfortunately hasn't been enough. I can envision a scenario where the Rockets eventually have to come to a fork in the road and choose between Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason. A healthy Tari Eason will make that not an easy choice. But if he continues to struggle to be available, he might see himself go from a core piece for a playoff contender to an add-on piece in a trade to make the salaries work. That's how fine the lines in the NBA are. It's cliché, I know, but the best ability is availability. Ime Udoka has a conundrum on his hands. There is a lot of young talent on this squad, and finding minutes for some players will be a challenge. Tari Eason is not one of the players who should have to worry about where his minutes come from, but only if he stays healthy. Tari doesn't have to move in silence. We want him to be himself and to motivate himself the way he sees fit. Just need him to refrain from motivating the four-time champions to dog-walk his teammates, as he sits on the sideline looking like a kid who got put in the corner. But much like when was a 14-year-old kid, I hope Tari has learned the very valuable lesson my pop taught me. Something about your mouth writing checks that another part of your anatomy can't cash? You catch my drift. Grade the trade. Warriors go all in for Jimmy Butler. Indiana, blockbuster mock trade scenario. The Golden State Warriors are heading into the 2024-25 season with an uncertain future as the franchise hopes that replacing Klay Thompson and Chris Paul with Buddy Hield, DeAnthony Melton, and Kyle Anderson will improve results this season. But in an ultra-competitive West, these moves might not be enough to compete alongside the top for a franchise that failed to make the playoffs last season. On the other conference, the Miami Heat are approaching the end of the road for their run with Jimmy Butler. His future with the franchise looks cloudy after reports that he expects to hit free agency and Pat Riley openly declaring that Butler needs to abide by specific conditions to get a new contract from the team. This might be the perfect time for the Warriors to pounce on a win-now player to give Stephen Curry another chance at a title. Butler's age, injury history, and contract uncertainty means that he can't fetch the massive trade haul one expects from a superstar player. However, he still is important enough to fetch such a package. The Warriors will be taking a massive risk by making this deal, but could emerge as massive winners if Butler delivers for them and makes them a contender in the West. The acquisition of Jimmy Butler would make the Warriors considerably older, especially with the departure of Jonathan Kuminga. But Butler is a proven playoff performer who is capable of leading a team to the NBA Finals. In a secondary offensive role behind Curry, Butler can not only conserve his health for the postseason but be the defensive menace he has remained even as he ages. He and Draymond Green can be conductors of a fierce defensive setup. Butler averaged 20.8 points, 5.3 rebounds, and 5.0 assists last season, struggling with injuries for a big chunk of the regular season and getting hurt during the play-in tournament. He's proven he can be one of the league's most clutch performers, provided he has the right infrastructure around him to support him. The Warriors have the perfect weapons for that, with the likes of Green, DeAnthony Melton, and breakout sophomore Brandon Podziemski. Josh Richardson is a multi-positional asset who could be a valuable 3-and-D veteran for the Warriors when needed. He averaged 9.9 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.4 assists last season. The losses of multiple rotational players won't be easy to replace, especially a leader like Looney, but there are options on the market for centers to play behind Tracy Jackson-Davis and Draymond, with Green expected to continue playing minutes at center for the franchise. This is a risk, but it might be worthwhile to maximize the twilight of Curry's prime. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Jimmy Butler? Leave your opinion in the comments.